Tappei has just released Arc 7 Chapter 53, and this will be a summary of the chapter. I highly recommend you check out my Arc 7 Chapter 52 summary. Anyways, let's begin. The chapter begins with Olbart stating that he heard that people in Chaos Flame are strong, but wonders if they're tougher than those in the shinobi village. Subaru heard the voice of a man and woman. Like before, the bombs were strong, and the purple smoke caught them. Then an explosion went off and Subaru's vision went red. The red vision, the cracking headache, all make Subaru wonder why this is happening. Subaru experiences 10 seconds and then he faces despair over and over again. The pain prevents him from thinking, the red vision prevents him from seeing, and then it resets and everything comes back, and then in the 3 seconds the same experience happens again. It's an endless cycle of pain, and it's driving Subaru crazy. Olbart states that he heard that the people in Chaos Flame are strong, but wonders if they're tougher than those in the shinobi village. Subaru heard the same voices again. He was scared to experience the same pain again. He cried out. Subaru screams and he crouches down and closes his eyes. Subaru's body is wrapped in the explosion and he's blown away. However, this time the pain doesn't come. The pain of his eyeballs bursting and being blown out of its socket doesn't come. His ears are hurt, but his vision is not red. In fact, the only thing that hurts the most is his throat. Louis grabs Subaru, but Subaru is too weak to stand up and his legs are shaking. In the distance, Olbart and Yona are battling. Subaru looks at Yona, who is bleeding from the corner of her mouth. We see Olbart's right hand covered in blood. He states he's shocked that Yona isn't dead from that attack, and Yona states that she won't reveal her maidenhood to a lustful old man. Olbart laughed and said this is what it means to put a hand on a child. He pulled out a black bomb and threw it at Subaru and Louis. Louis shielded Subaru, but both of them were eviscerated in the explosion. Olbart states that he heard the people in Chaos Flame are strong, but wonders if they're stronger than those in the shinobi village. Subaru experienced red and pain again. Olbart states that he heard that people in Chaos Flame are strong, but wonders if they're tougher than those in the shinobi village. Subaru realized he was back. Again, this time he immediately shouted, closed his eyes and bent down. This was the absolute law Subaru followed to escape the red pain. Subaru is scared. He doesn't want to experience that pain again. Again, Subaru survived. He was knocked down, his throat hurt, but apart from that he was fine. He could actually see. If he closed his eyes and shouts, he won't feel the red pain anymore. Louis came up to him and Subaru hugged her and said it was okay. To avoid the red pain, Subaru needs to close his eyes and shout. That's something he has to remember. Subaru looked at Yona and Obart. Obart appeared behind Yona and the roof tiles went for Olbart, but he batted them away. Again, Olbart explained that a needle to the forehead can kill people. Yona created a tornado and asked Olbart to escape it. After all, there would be no escape points. It was a tornado of death. The human body would be crushed. Yona turns to Louis and Subaru, saying that she must look pretty terrible right now. However, Olbart stated that he wasn't done. The tornado of destruction disappeared, and we can see that Olbart, who should have been crushed, was standing there laughing. He stated it's normal for a shinobi to escape a place with no openings. He then asked if Yona was happy now that he escaped. Yona stated that despite being an old and rotten man, that he was still a divine general. Olbart states that he was chosen as a divine general since he was stronger than most people. He then says that Yona is a waste of a girl. Yona is confused and Olbart explains that she would do better if she didn't have to protect the city and the kids behind her. Olbart explains that Yona is still fighting to protect him, and as a result she is weaker and is why she cannot reach the Emperor. Subaru knew Olbart would target them, and therefore he gripped Louis's hand. Subaru wished Yona good luck, and he said he would disappear. It was disgusting to run away, but Yona couldn't protect them and go all out if they were there. Subaru told Louis to warp downwards, and they entered the castle interior. Subaru vomited and apologized, but this was nothing compared to the red pain. Now that they were gone, Olbart and Yona could fight at full force. A series of explosions went off, and Subaru was confused. Subaru looked up and saw the ceiling, however Olbart's face was peering through and he jumped down to Subaru and Lewis. Lewis approaches Olbart, but her leg is sliced off by his hand. Subaru pulled Lewis close as she screamed in pain. He didn't know if it was because she was hurt or if it was because he was worried, but he didn't do it fast enough as he felt a burning sensation at his throat. With that, Subaru was killed again. Olbart states that he heard that the people in Gears Flame are strong, but wonders if they're tougher than those in the shinobi village. Subaru heard the same voice and knew what he had to do. He pulled Lewis close to him. This was the method of survival after repeating the cycle dozens of times. However, the solution beyond that was yet to be found. Subaru survived the explosion, and like the last chain of events, they repeated, Olbart throwing shurikens at all of them, which was then blocked by Yona. However, Subaru told Yona to not block them, and this time Subaru and Lewis warped. Olbart was shocked by this. This was Subaru's trump card. Subaru had escaped many times, but he's always killed by the pursuing Olbart. Just once you can catch Olbart off guard. With that, Olbart goes in and lands an attack on Olbart, dealing damage to him. Olbart was knocked into the interior of the castle, but he jumped back out. We see that one of his arms is broken as he blocked Yona's attack with his arm. Olbart threw shurikens at them and Yona blocked them. Olbart then pushed forward, cutting off his arm and launching it at them. Yona didn't know if she should dodge the attack or not. Below Yona there was a hole. This was the exact hole that Olbart was knocked through. A wind surge rose up, tearing Yona's clothes, and that was followed up by an explosion. We see that the arm that Olbart threw had a bomb placed inside it. It makes sense. Shinobi used traps, so it's logical that the hole and the arm were used to gain an advantage. Subaru turns to Lewis and shouts. Lewis warps away from Olbart. Essentially, the plan is to keep warping until Yona stops Olbart, but Subaru notices a black ball by his toe. Olbart explains that the ball will go where you point it. Once again, Subaru and Lewis are engulfed in a white light as they're torn apart. Olbart states that he heard that the people in Gears Flame are strong, but wonders if they're tougher than those in the shinobi village. Subaru immediately reacted. He closed his eyes and shouted. As he cried, he hugged Lewis. Subaru kept crying and he heard the voice again. I hate the sound of children crying. With that, the feeling of death embraced Subaru. Again and again, the red and pain are repeated. The helplessness of the future is repeated. How many times has he turned down Yona's love? This is not dying again. This doesn't feel like reversion of death. This was such a loveless act that he felt like there was actual love in return by death. Olbart states that he heard the people in Gears Flame are strong, but one day, oh my god, are we really doing this? The conditioned reflexes imprinted on Subaru's soul causes Subaru to react. The explosion goes off and Subaru and Lewis are knocked down. Lewis jumped on him and he hugged her. This was also another conditioned response. He missed the warmth of people, nothing more. Like last time, Olbart threw shurikens at Subaru and Lewis. Subaru felt death many times from them. He never had a painless death. Yona blocked the shurikens and Olbart reacted. Subaru had seen the scene many times before. When he protected Yona, when he charged ahead, when he went into the castle, all of them led to death, so what can he do? Olbart states that all you need is a needle to the forehead to kill someone. Yona creates a tornado of destruction and surrounds Olbart with it. Subaru tries to help Yona, but it fails. He tries to run with Lewis, but he gets caught. If he could go back earlier, he wouldn't have to come to the roof with Olbart. He wouldn't have left Abel. He wouldn't have told them about Lewis. Subaru was filled with regret. Subaru had to get Ren back, but Subaru was in a world where death was inevitable. Subaru felt at the moment of the girl that was holding him and wondered what everyone else would do. The scene changed. The cycle of death repeated. The 10 seconds of death had many branches. Subaru tried many of them, but they all failed, always making Yona sad. letting Lewis die and then dying after also. However, Subaru would eventually get to that 11th second, no matter what. Olbart states that he heard the people in the blah blah blah, and Subaru crouches down and hugs Lewis per usual, and he wonders what everyone else would do. Subaru was a child, so his head wasn't normal. It was hard to think about the others. Subaru thought, what would they do? He was all alone, but he wondered, what would Otto do? Garfiel, Frederica, Petra, Clind, Anna Rose, Maylie, Park, Ram, Beatrice, Emilia. What would Reinhard, Anastasia, Priscilla, Ricardo, and everyone else do? By the way, Subaru says pretty much a lot of characters mentioned, but you get the point. Subaru sees Olbart and Yorna fighting. The warm hand holding him won't let his soul freeze. Subaru can't help Yorna, and Olbart and Yorna need to finish the fight for the story to continue, leading to Olbart's win and Subaru and the others' death. So if Subaru and the others survive, is that enough? Someone has to win, a key to victory, and Subaru will find it. Subaru's vision turns red. Olbart states his usual sentence. The same sequence of events pan out, and Subaru thanked Lewis and hugged her. Olbart pulled out his shurikens, and Subaru stared at him head on. Subaru pointed at Olbart, and Lewis teleported right next to Olbart, catching him off guard, and Subaru and Lewis dogpiled on him. Olbart tried to pull him off, however Subaru said he won. Olbart then stopped and was confused. Subaru explained, if they play hide and seek, they have to catch Olbart 3 times, but if it was catch, they would only have to catch him once. It was twisted logic, but Subaru proclaimed his victory. It's cheating to change the rules, but it's the only way Subaru could win. Subaru said that Olbart also cheated first, so it should be fine. Yorna asked Olbart what he thinks. She was still beautiful, and depending on Olbart's answer, she would fight again for Subaru and Lewis's sake. Olbart sat down and laughed. He admitted that he lost. With that, he laughed and laughed, and Subaru kept proclaiming that he won. And then Olbart said that if Subaru kept boasting, he would get angry, and then he slapped Subaru's forehead. And with that, the chapter ends. So yeah, it seems Subaru did win. With Olbart slapping Subaru's forehead at the end, I think that's like a playful slap. I don't feel like Olbart actually killed Subaru at the end, because I believe Tappei wants to get the show on the road from this game of hide and seek. So I do believe Subaru and the rest will be returned back to normal. Again, Subaru died a lot, but I don't think it was returned by death. I do believe Subaru is looping via Ao's ability. I did see one person sort of speculate that Subaru got Ao's authority because he was a little kid, so he couldn't use his ability, so the witch factor moved to Subaru. And I feel like when they go back to normal, the witch factor is going to go back to Aldebaran. So I feel like that's what's happening here. But yeah, that was a long chapter. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.